This is a new device I just made, the Midi2Micro, which is a MIDI. It takes a MIDI number and converts it to a frequency based off of a couple things. So this keyboards generate MIDI numbers. So A4 is 69, middle C is 60. Each half step goes up one number up to A4 is 69. So A4 is 69. And standard tuning, most people, go A440. So A is tuned to 440 hertz, which is hertz is the measure of frequency, which is cycles per second, the number of times something is vibrating back and forth every second. So an A string that's vibrating at an A4 will go back and forth, vibrate back and forth 440 times every second. If you were to cut that string in half, if you were to put your finger down in exactly the middle of the string, so effectively cutting it, the part that's vibrating in half, so only half of it is vibrating, it is then vibrating at double the speed. So it's vibrating at 880 times every second, and we hear that as the octave above. If you were to have a string twice as long or thicker, it would be the octave below, 220. And the way we get the rest of the notes in our scale, in standard music, we use a method called equal temperament, which essentially divides the distance between the A's into 12 different half steps. And I'll show you the math for that in a little bit. But essentially, that means that each of our notes is a different frequency. They vibrating at a different speed. And this device lets you choose the value for A. There is a block that exists in a function block that you can set MIDI to frequency, but it standardizes, it only lets you do A equaling 440. This will let you drop the A down to 432 at a hit of a button. If you can hear the difference, it's ever so slight. A lot of, I know, sound healing people and people like to use A432. This lets you set A to whatever you want. So we could set A to 420 if we really wanted to. If we wanted to blaze it, we could go there. And then I need to connect this up. This needs to go in here. And then also, so enter. Okay. Yeah, okay. I didn't finish hooking those up right. So this lets you change the value of A, and then it does the math to convert all the other notes into the different frequencies, which is divided up in the scale. So if you're interested in the math of that, we'll go into that now. Because this is just, eventually I want to add other tuning systems. You go to different parts of the world, they all do the math differently. This is a method called equal temperament, which evenly spaces the distance between the A's, so 440 and 80, it divides it equally into 12 parts, but it's a logarithmic exponential scale because I'll stop it here. Let's take a look. Okay, so this is the math. So we get our A frequency. So whatever you set A to comes in here to this block. I have a dial for here. We'll show you. This dial here is the sense. So it divides up the space between A and A sharp into 100 units. So let's see if we can get it. OCD. Okay. So that sense allows you to adjust microtonally in between the frequencies as well. So open. What that does, so the initial frequency value comes in here. The sense, however many sense comes in here, and it multiplies it by 0.1. Then our MIDI number comes in and is subtracted by 69, because A is 69, and so we want A to be 0, so because we don't want it to be affected. So if we subtract 69 from A, it becomes a MIDI number A, it becomes 0. Then we add our cents, so the plus point number, and that equals this, the B here and this equation. So we essentially take this number 1.06 whatever, which is essentially 2 to the power of 1 over 12. 1 divided by 12, you take 2 and you raise it to the power of 1 divided by 12. And then you raise that to the power of how many half steps you are from A, plus or minus half steps. So if we were to go to the A sharp, that makes this 1, and it then this is 106, and it gives us this frequency. So essentially, that this 1.06 to the power of half steps distance from A equals this number times 440, or whatever we set A to, equals the frequency that comes out. And this is, we're just showing us, I have this set up. Each of these keyboards is going to a separate oscillator here for the different octaves. You could set this up really conceivably however you want. This is just a block here. If we open copy, it just comes like this right here. And you've got your, you put your A, you plug your A value in here, however you want to control that. However you want to control your sense in. You put in a one number and it divides it into 100. So you insert integers and it fractions it out to sense of 100. That makes sense. Then you have a MIDI. You put your MIDI in here, and it just, if you want to have a pass through, this is just a pass through for the MIDI out. It's the same thing. It's literally just connected inside. So if we were to open this up, oopsie. Oh, I guess it didn't copy all the stuff because I just copied that. I didn't copy the object. Okay, that was silly. Surprise! There's nothing inside. Magic. No, but actually, if we were to close that, it's all of that. We just saw it. I didn't copy all that. Okay. Anyway, this is my MIDI to microtonal frequency converter. On the to-do list is adding other tuning systems, including Temperament, Just Tuning, and the Harmonic series, as well as maybe some others. I want to get the harmonic series in there because I think that's fun, because that's when you do the math perfectly. So what would it be? The E, the E above A. In the harmonic series, it's a 2 to 3 ratio. So 2 vibrations to 3 vibrations. So in the perfect world, this would be 660, because for every 2 times the A is vibrating, the E would be vibrating 3 times. But because we use the equal temperament system that fudges all the numbers just a little bit, fudges all the frequencies a little bit, because if you use the perfect tuning of the harmonic series, the further you go in either direction, the more out of tune you're going to be. So equal temperament fudges all the tuning just a little bit, so it's all equally slightly out of tune, so nothing is really out of tune. Nothing's perfect. There's a bunch of different systems, but this is what this is using, and what most music you hear is using. And that is when it's tuned to A440. A432 is the next most common that you'll hear people using, which those are the harmonics, the octaves of A432. You double it, you get 864 hertz. You divide it by 2, you get 216. It's all just math. But yeah, I have this object is published, and there's a world that published in Patchworld VR. This is in Patchworld VR for those of you who have stuck around this long and don't know what I'm doing. I built this all. You can check it out if you go to Patchworld, search for me, Patch Pixie. You'll find the Midi2Micro mini object, as well as this control panel, available to play around with in a world that I have published. So have fun, and show me the stuff that you build with this. My next goal is to implement this device into my handpan synthesizer, so you can convert your VR handpan to A432. Woo hoo hoo hoo. Okay, exciting stuff. All right. Follow me, Lake Worth Fairy Bard, on YouTube and Instagram. Patreon.com/GwenK, Patreon.com/GWENK for more behind the scenes tutorials and stuff. Okay, bye. See you in the next episode.